Hello, welcome back to Drop Frames. Going in the second half here. Let's start with some Rage 2. You guys have both played it. I'm checking it out immediately after the cast today. So I guess you guys are selling me on it or not selling me on it, depending on what you say. Have you both finished it or not finished it? Were you both nowhere near finishing it?
I'm getting close.
Zeke, where are you at?
I just did one full broadcast.
Okay. All right. Let's just jump into the Rage 2. Zeke, we'll start with you. How you feeling about it? Okay, never mind. Zeke's out. We don't get any thoughts from Zeke. I'm so curious to know what just happened.
I put on my air conditioner during the breaks to cool it down in here a little bit. I can hear it coming through the microphone.
Okay.
So that's what I was doing. Sorry about that. It's like, let's start with you. No, I'm leaving.
You just said fucking and left, man. You were gone.
Sorry, dude. I was already on my way over there to touch it, to turn it off. Okay, Rage 2. Rage 2. Okay. First of all, let me say this game jumps you right in, which I think is super important for a game like this. That I think Days Gone severely lacked was that the action is almost immediate. Like right when you start, like they give you a little prologue, a little story, and then they're like, go right into it and start messing around with guns and enemies and vehicles and all that kind of stuff. So that was really cool. That the pace of it started flipping along pretty quickly. I really enjoyed my time with it. Like I spent about 8 hours playing it, or 7.5, whatever, full broadcast. And it felt like a good FPS. I actually always try to go close combat melee route with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And to start off with, it wasn't easy to do. Because I also started off in nightmare mode. Let's just say that I started doing nightmare.
And the hardest mode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There are 4 modes: normal, hard, and nightmare. And I started off in that mode, and I didn't feel like I was the game wasn't as fun for me yet, because aiming is not my strong suit and it never has been. I've always been way more akin to melee and stuff, and they do have a melee thing, just a default melee button, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. So I was having trouble trying to shoot through, and the difficulty spike is bullet spongy. So once I took it from nightmare down to hard, I had a much more fun time with the game. It still has a level of difficulty, but it doesn't feel like you have to shoot every single enemy 30 times to down them. It's like half of that or whatever. Or at least I didn't have to expend 30 bullets myself. So for someone who is not very good with FPSs or whatever, like me, I would say I'm well below average on FPS skill. Turning it down to hard was a great decision for me. I don't feel like I'm missing anything, because we had a discussion about how to make games more difficult and what we want, rather than as opposed to what usually happens. What usually happens is, to up the difficulty, they make the enemies, they give them more HP, right?
Right.
So you have to shoot them a lot more times. What everybody wants is either better AI, which I'm sure is a fucking nightmare to try and program, or maybe more enemies instead of more bullet sponge. I don't know. But once I turned it down to hard, I found myself enjoying the game a lot more. It was still kind of difficult, but not artificially, I want to say. But
Right.
as the game went on, I found more power-ups that gave me the ability to just run in there and do some crazy wild shit. There's this cool force hand melee attack. There's this like a
Shatter.
stomp thing that you can do. Yeah. So I was definitely once I figured that out, I was totally shotgun melee, get in there and kick some ass kind of a play style.
Right.
And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. The sense of humor is spot on. I love that everything has a name. Like every person has a name, and all those names are just like Fezziwig Dinklebottom will be one name, and then another name will be Mr. Fister or something like that.
I found buy one, get one free.
That's
Yeah, man.
pretty good. Okay.
It's like honestly, it was just really like dumb fun for the time that I gave it. I don't know how long it is. People said it's relatively short for a full price game, for a full $60 game.
I've seen that a lot. That
But
comment a
it's
lot.
like in my 8 hours, it seemed like I had tons of shit left to do. I don't know if I do, but it felt like I had like lots of land left to explore, lots of different like quest things that you get from random people, bounties that you can go do. This is a semi open world game, which means a lot of the hours of gameplay will come from doing side quests and stuff like that. Like if you power through the main story, you might leave a little disappointed, but if you do like some or all of the side shit, it'll definitely pad out the hours. And I think that's what the point of like an open world game is it's not to like just run straight through the main story and get it done as fast as possible. It's to do all the weird side shit. But I totally had a blast with
it. Is it the type of stuff where, I mean, you can name a bunch of games could fill this thought, but is it the type of game where the side stuff is not interesting, or is it like full blown quest where it's all unique, or is it cookie cutter, like go do this encampment here, go do this encampment here, go do this encampment here, and then you'll get a new power or something like that? Like, what is the side stuff? What is the side stuff? I guess is maybe the best question there.
I honestly didn't do a lot of it because I was, and this is just because it's not something that I would do if I was playing it on my own. It was because I was streaming it, and I also knew that I probably would only stream it the one day, and I wouldn't like come back to it on stream, because by the time, because I played it on Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday I don't do full streams.
Right.
So by Thursday, like everybody would have been just like business wise, this would have been I'm thinking probably a poor decision to play it anymore.
Sure.
Because of the hype would have died down. Now did you get this to work, Co? Because I don't think I ever did. The audience, the Twitch integration defibrillator.
Yes. They basically, from what I understand, there was a pre-order version and a version that was released like last night, which is much more recessed, and that version is working fine. So what can happen is whenever the player does the defibrillator, he gets a certain amount of health back for each one of the keys that he hits, and you can upgrade the skill to get more keys. And then if the Twitch viewers do it, there is a bonus that will go on top of that gets added to the player. So I was watching a streamer play this morning, and she got one of them and missed the other, which would normally give her 20, but she got 28%.
Oh,
because people in her chat actually did it.
Does it matter the amount of people that are doing it?
Can't tell you. I have no idea how it works in the back end.
Gotcha.
I'm assuming there's a ratio of like X amount of, like maybe a ratio of the people watching or something.
I don't know how as a extension developer or,
to be clear, a fully upgraded defibrillator will get you 100% though. And I haven't seen it go over 100%. So it seems like there gets to a point where the Twitch integration is pointless. Unless the player were to miss, in which case the people could then help him get some of that back.
Right. Okay. Well, Code, the same question then to you, because Zeke said he didn't do much of the side content. Are you doing a lot of the side content, and what type of side content is it?
I've cleared probably about a quarter of the map so far.
Is it cookie cutter? Is it the same stuff over and over, or is it unique? Like what would you say?
Here's the thing. Rage 2 is awesome. I am loving this game. I have played this game for 16 hours. I have a lot left to go. I've been enjoying the setting. I'm loving the weapons. And most importantly, the thing that I'm really digging about it is that this game took me outside of my comfort zone in terms of how to play. This game punishes people that try to play it like a traditional shooter. If you try to get into cover, especially on nightmare mode, you will be destroyed over and over and over again. There are enemies. There's one particular enemy, for instance, that throws up 5 grenades at once and then with a bat hits them all at you. Oh, God. Okay, there we go. And so you just get like pelted with grenades. So if you're in cover, Like you're going to get hit, and on Nightmare, it is going to kill you. And I've seen a lot of people playing it like that, and they just get super frustrated with the game, and they want to stop playing it. And honestly, when I started playing it at the beginning, I kind of did that and was kind of getting owned and kind of felt it. But the thing about Rage 2 is that this is a game where you're designed to be a superhero. And as you go around and unlocking powers and stuff, and you upgrade them and start synergizing them, you start feeling like a superhero. It has gotten to the point in my game where I have all the powers unlocked. I have many upgrades for all the abilities. In fact, I think they're all maxed. And dude, I can walk into a camp and it's just like, it's like an action movie. Like basically my entire gameplay is dash melee, shotgun in the face, do a ground slam, throw a black hole, throw a grenade into the middle of that, walk over, blast both their heads off. Like you basically just walk through enemies like you're some kind of John Wick on speed. It is awesome. And that is what's keeping me playing the game. The fact that it's just really, really fun to play when you get into the slide. It's pretty great. So I'm going to every location. I'm clearing them all out. I'm 100%ing them because you can track the stuff. There's all sorts of abilities. Like there are so many ways to upgrade in this game. It is almost overwhelming. Weapons can be unlocked in tiers. And then there's upgrades inside of those you can get. Vehicles have an upgrade tree you can go down. Powers you can upgrade with Feltrite, which give you raw bonuses, but then open up into like a skill system, which you then spend a different currency on to give different abilities on. There are projects, which then give you global bonuses, ways to get loot, give you more health packs, give you better loot, give you better resource usage stuff. Like, it's just, this game is just, I'm having a huge amount of fun with it. And the vehicles are great. The story has been cool. I played Rage 1 and was kind of a fan of Rage 1, even though it was a pretty terrible game, to be blunt. But a lot of that stuff is in this one, and there's nods all over the place. There's even some of the same characters. So also what's kind of fun is even though the world itself sometimes is a little bit empty, coming from Rage 1, it is like night and day in terms of the random events that go on around it. There's convoys going around the map. There's traders, there's racers, there's lots of enemy NPC factions that we'll be fighting. There's roadblocks. There's all sorts of stuff going on in the world if you look for it. Or you can just get in a helicopter and, you know, fly over all of it and choose to ignore it. There's also a lot of random events that they stick, like big actual roadblocks with like 15 guys. Then you have to blow all them up and raise the barriers and stuff so you can actually go through. The cities are all pretty fun. There's tons, like the names that Zeke was talking about. Every single NPC has a name. Every single one. And some of them are hilarious. Some of them are normal, but some of them are just, you know, completely batshit off the wall. Tinkle McDingleberry. You know, and there's like, if you walk through cities and actually take the time to look around, there is so much little nuance, like people talking to each other or people wrestling. One of the funniest encounters I've seen in a long time in gaming is when you walk into the center of, I think, Wellspring, and there are these two guys wearing this absolutely ridiculous outfit. And one of them turns around and is like, "Bitch, you did not steal my threads." And this starts like a 5-minute conversation where they just go back and forth, completely unique animation, great voice acting. And there's stuff like that all over the game if you look for it. Every city has stuff like that. So it's, you know, I got to say, man, like, I've been loving it. I played it 16 hours. I can't wait to play tomorrow. I've done all 3 of the base. The way the game works is there's 3 kind of factions. And you have to get an item from each faction to challenge the big end guy. And each faction has like 2 major quests. So if you just do the main story, it's pretty short. But the gameplay, like I said, is what really is carrying this game. And if you want to keep doing that gameplay, and if you want to get all your skills maxed and everything, there is a huge amount of content on the map to do. On top of that, each city has tons of NPCs that will give you little lore reasons and that will unlock places on the map to go visit. And yeah, it's just fun. I'm really enjoying it, man. It's really cool. And Zeke, to talk about your melee thing, by the way.
Okay.
At the stage of the game I'm in, if I dash before I melee, my melee gets stronger. If I kill someone at point blank, my melee does more damage. If I do a black hole and do melee, there's a melee multiplier. Like there's a rush ability that can also affect melee. It gets to the point where you like using guns will actually slow you down in some cases. Like my shotgun is kind of like my go-to. So it gets to be really fun. You find yourself just using powers and melee and dashing around towards the end, and it feels good.
Zeke, what were you gonna say?
That's one thing that an open world game always should have is while you're traveling from place to place, that this game does very well, that it has so many other things that pop up on the map that you can do on your way to do something else. So you can, like, I think a good sidetrack system is very important to a good open world game where you come to a point you're going from point A to point B, and on that you see like question marks or buildings or like things pop up and say like clear this place and you'll get like there's this many goons here, go kill them all or whatever. And I think this game has a lot of that.
So
Like you can't go from point A to point B without being alerted to 10 different things, like whether it be a race, whether it be something you can clear out, whether it be something that's a question mark on the map or whatever. And I think it does that extremely well.
So I've asked 3 times now. I'm going to get an answer.
Yep.
I'm going to ask a 4th.
What's the fourth time?
Side quest, are they cookie cutter? Are they unique? What, like, are they just
Okay.
cut and paste across the map? Because you guys are
Let's
talking
talk about
there's a lot, but what?
There's almost 15 vehicles you can summon in this game, and each one of them has like different abilities. Okay. The side quests are kind of like it's kind of weird. There's not really side quests. There's 3 main quest lines,
Okay.
and then there's tons of remote locations you can clear, and sometimes there's like a little lore connectivity to get you that place or unlocked. So for instance, like a side quest could be when you go into a city, there's tons of NPCs to talk to, and they'll be like, hey, I used to own this auto park out at this, this highway down south, but the goons took it over, and I'd really love to get it back. And that will unlock that location. And then if you go and clear that, if you go back to him, he'd be like, yo, thanks, I appreciate it. You don't really get anything for it. And if you would have found that location on your own and done it, like it would have been exactly the same. So there's not really kind of like side quests in that regard. Now, that being said, there are tons of different types of world events. There are bandit clearing areas. There are blow up the generators. There are go inside and shut down the solar panels. There's like all these different types of like, little encounters. They're all marked by different icons. Some are big boss fights, like kill a giant mutant or something like that. But it's in terms of side questing itself, again, this game is just all about the gameplay, and the game is just doing as many ways as it can to facilitate that kind of like core routine.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I would say like the variety of things you actually do is not as wide as the variety of ways you can get things done.
Yep. Good way to say
like
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, I like that I can choose to drive my monster truck into a camp and just sit there and blast until like my monster truck is almost destroyed by their bombs and stuff, and then hop out and then start shooting or whatever. Or I can go in and like try and just pick them off like one at a time and that kind of thing. Or you use your grenades, you can use your like bladed boomerang fucking thing that you have. But yeah, just a variety of ways you can like kill things is where my fun came in. For
Gotcha.
sure.
Yeah, for me, and like if you want to see some of the gameplay I'm talking about, the best thing to do and the most fun I've been having is getting to a location for the first time, holding down control, which scans for where all the enemies are, and then just really quickly being like, okay, how am I going to kill every single one of these people? And then you just kind of like start looking around, like, where are the explosive barrels? What can I do? What kind of stuff do I want to do? Where are the groups at? And stuff like that. That's the most fun of this game. It's basically just like a superhero kill simulator. And yeah, it's like, if you just kind of take it for what it is, kind of just like a focus on the gameplay and not really much of the else, I've been having a great time with it. And then you add in all those different ways to like enhance the experience through the weapons you unlock, through the powers you unlock, through upgrading those powers, through finding, the new ones and kind of then synergizing those together. It just gets more and more fun. At least it has been for me.
And I think it really nails the personality. Like it comes across exactly how it wants to come across. Kill happy Gora Palooza with like a cool, like weird punk rock apocalyptic sense of humor. Like I like that it didn't take itself too seriously. Like you're not hearing a main character like it's always been a tough day out here in the apocalypse, and life's hard. It's more like I'm gonna go over there and kill that guy and play in his blood some. Okay. Like all right, I dig it.
Yeah, you warp to one of the towns and there's just a dude in a pool of blood making a snow angel, just chilling on the ground, just sitting there doing there's so much weird shit like that. Like it's really ridiculous. A dude with a completely naked from the waist down with a tail butt plug wrestling with another guy that's slapping his ass.
That was great.
Oh, they got it. Yeah,
Jesus.
it's there.
So it seems Borderlands obviously gets a lot of comparison here in terms of how the world is structured and kind of the Borderlands-ness of the game. Not gameplay or anything, but how the world is and world functions as a character. Do you guys think that is true? Is it more mature Borderlands? I mean, some of the stuff you're mentioning, it's not really in. It's a little bit too serious comedy, I guess, or dark-hearted comedy that Borderlands does not have. Like, where would you draw the comparison?
I'd say a little less Borderlands. Go ahead.
Yeah, I brought that up while I was playing. I was like, it feels a little bit Borderlands-ish because of the sense of humor and the fact that there's loot just fucking everywhere.
Is there a claptrap?
Thankfully, no.
Okay.
At least not that I saw. There was no like super annoying characters. And if they were annoying, they were only annoying for a little bit. They weren't like in the entire fucking game.
Okay. Carl, what's your answer to that? I saw some different facial reactions.
A little less Borderlands and a little more post-apocalyptic.
Okay.
Rage 1, it's more Rage 1-y than Borderlands, where it's kind of like a stylized comedy where we're like Borderlands to me is just kind of like straight comedy value a lot of times. They're just trying to make you laugh.
Right.
And sometimes it just comes off as kind of lame. This game is the same in some ways, but the comedy is a little bit more like, I don't want to say adult, because that's not right, but maybe that's the right word for it.
No, I think
I don't know.
I would
Borderlands is more about like comedy, and this is more about like sex and blood comedy.
Right.
I would say less adult, more Adult Swim.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Like,
it's a
weird.
different. It feels different. It feels different. Yeah.
Cool.
A couple of things though, wanted to bring up some of the negative points of the game because it's not all positive.
Sure.
One of the things, most of them are pretty minor though, thankfully. Sometimes the voice lines glitch out, and they'll probably easily patchable, but like it would be like you'd be talking to someone, and then one line, their mouth would move, and they just wouldn't say anything. The subtitles would appear, but it would just be them going.
Okay. Is it frequent enough? Because I mean, that happens in a bunch of different open world games, but is it frequent enough to say that it happens a lot, or is that just something you noticed casually?
It's every once in a while. I think in the 8 hours I played, I experienced it like 4 times, maybe. So it's not. It's just something that was kind of funny
we just live in a world of nitpicking, so that's why I was asking. Like, if you're nitpicking,
well, very true.
Yeah.
The other thing, this was my biggest complaint. My biggest complaint about the game is you get all of these fucking vehicles to choose from, and only one can you upgrade. Is that right, Co?
Yeah,
That's
it is.
shitty. I wanted my
That
monster
sucks.
trunk for the entire game because I wanted to kit it out. I wanted to be like, give it the boosters and give it like better guns and shit like that. It's like, nah, it's just the starting vehicle that you can really upgrade. The rest of them come stock. I'm just like, man, I got this monster truck and I want to make it powerful and fast and I can't do it.
That
And I want to use it, but it's so goddamn slow. It's so much slower than any other vehicle. So
This weapon I'm using, by the way, you shoot an enemy with the weapon, then you right-click somewhere else, and it propels them immediately in that direction. And if you throw them in a wall or something, it kills them. Some of the weapons are a lot of fun, by the way. There's a revolver that you shoot enemies, and all the bullets that go into them, you then, with the right-click, snap, and they explode into fire. There's like giant plasma cannons. There's some really fun weapons, and every weapon also has an alternative overkill mode, which changes how it fires.
Oh.
So that part's really been fun. Also, just to kind of address some of the stuff Zeke was talking about, there are a good amount of negatives in this game. The voiceover is definitely an issue. I also am 100% with Zeke on the fact that other stuff can't be upgraded. I was really bummed when I found that out. That was pretty unfortunate. Also, some of the levels are straight up really freaking dark, and there's no flashlight. It drives me nuts. Like especially when you're like looking around for items and stuff, and it tells you there's an item nearby, and it's in a pitch black room, and you're just like, do I just need to go around hitting E? Like that part was kind of frustrating. There's also like, even though the game is really, really fun to play, I would have loved a little bit more variety in terms of what you actually do at the locations. Every location is essentially kill everyone there, shoot at some objects, and then loot some stuff. And don't get me wrong, they do a good job of making the locations look interesting. Like this place that we've been looking through, very unique place. You know, a lot of times they'll put little lore attachments to them. There may be an audio log or some fun stuff to listen to. But it would have been nice to kind of jazz that up a little bit. Yeah, for sure. They do have a fast travel system, which is great. And one other thing I'm going to say, because if I don't say it now, I'm going to forget. I strongly recommend that PC players rebind their keys, because what the devs have done is something really cool. They have put in keybinds that they don't use so the player can if they want to. And those keybinds are instant cast abilities, so you don't have to hold down control to use them. So what I did is I made 1, 2, 3, 4 my main powers. So then I can just like hit those and it instantly casts them, and it's super intuitive. And then you only have to control to dash, and then you're actually like dashing all over the place normally and not burning your powers and not like having to do, finger foo to get shit working properly. That's huge. And little stuff like that really helps.
Now, like that was definitely something I would have done if I would have known about it. I will do when I go back to it for sure, is just bind them to one key press rather than control and this.
Yep. And a lot of people bind
middle mouse button.
Yeah. A lot of people bind focus to, like, if you have a side button on your mouse, I've heard that works amazing. So then you can just dash by tapping the side of your mouse and hold it down to, collect the Feltrite and stuff like that. So really works that well.
Okay. My opinion's been changed like 4 or 5 times now on this game, from reading reviews to watching Twitch stuff to now hearing you guys talk about it. I'm curious to check it out.
It's weird because I've gotten over and over, like, do you recommend this game? And my answer to people is, if you can watch this game for 5 minutes and go, holy shit, that looks fun, I want to play that. The gameplay looks fun to you. If that's something that you think's enjoyable, then you will easily have 30 to 40 hours of content to do if you want to clear the map and stuff. However, if you're wanting to play this game for like a narrative experience, if you're looking for a lot of varied and interesting gameplay things, like, those type of people are probably going to find this game pretty lackluster, because they're just simply not going to get what they're expecting. So it's, even though it's kind of a one-trick pony, it's a damn good trick. So that's kind of what I've been telling people. I'm sold on the gameplay. So for me, I'm loving it, dude. Like, I'm having a great time.
Well,
I all the towns. I love watching the lore. I'm enjoying the story. I was having a great time with it. But if I didn't like the gameplay as much as I did, I probably would have put it down already.
Yeah, that was one of those things that the trailers initially sold me on, was like the craziness of the gameplay and all the just different ways of killing that you can do. And so if they stick to that, and that it is as varied as that, and as varied as you guys are saying, I'll probably be into it. I don't know if I'll finish it, but if it's short, maybe I'll just push through the main story and be done with it, which is fine. I think if it's a 9 to 12 hour game,
do the main story pretty quickly. Another quick thing that's a great tip for people to know. Of course, when you play this game, you're going to want to know, because you don't start with any powers. So you're going to want to know, okay, where do I get powers and where do I get the guns? Well, there's 2 things to know. First of all, if you go into your inventory, you can click on the powers and weapons you don't have, and it will tell you where to get them, which is helpful. Nice. And the second thing is, if you go onto a mountain or an open area on the map and you hold down your focus, then what you'll see is these giant blue columns miles in the distance all over the place. Those are the arcs. Those are the places you go to get your powers. So if you want to get all souped up before you do the main story, just go around holding down your focus, and then like get in, you can go to the main city wellspring, and there's a little helicopter you can get there. You can literally just fly around the map. You don't even have to get a car. You can just fly over everything to these arcs and just get all the powers and get all souped up, and then you can do the main story in probably 8 to 10 hours.
I never even got the helicopter. I didn't know it was there. That's hilarious.
This is great.
It was easy.
Do this more often.
That was easy. Oh, sorry.
No, I need to do this more often, where not play a game, let you guys figure out all the bad stuff, tell me how to do all the good stuff, and then play the game. It's great.
I will say, dude, if you play this game like a superhero, man, it'll make you feel like a superhero if you let it.
All right.
It really will.
Yeah.
Especially as you get further into the game.
I'm excited to check it out.
One other thing that I wanted to point out that I didn't care for, in a loot game like this, that Days Gone did better than this, is that if there's a bunch of loot in one corner of the room, let me just like hold down the button and get all of it. Don't make me click on each individual one, please.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would like that, because there's like boxes of ammo like in like a shelf, and it's like okay. I mean, it goes pretty fast.
Skyrim devs basically said like you can't do AoE looting. It's just a company wide thing, so that's why it's that way.
It's a policy now.
Yeah, it's a policy.
It's a policy.
Right.
I would be remiss though not to mention there are some really cool boss fights that take like multiple minutes to complete, and if you aren't dashing, then you will die. So they are like relatively challenging boss fights, and also the oh god, what was I going to say? Oh, the music is awesome. Like when you are really going hard, like all of a sudden you'll start hearing like some Mick Gordon-esque like thrashing going on in the background. Oh, feels good, man. Like feels good. It really kind of completes the ensemble when that music kicks in. I always wait for it because when I'm starting to get like really into it, I'm like, come on, music. Come on, music. Oh, there it is. And then it's like you start hitting the abilities and start going crazy and stuff. So
Well, and don't do what I did. Like
it's not Mick Gordon for the record.
Drive past it. Like I drove into this area and it was like this music started. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. And then it just went quiet. And I was like, oh, I left the area.
Cool.
Oh shoot. Okay. So wait, I've always been confused about this because I've said this a few times on stream and I keep getting corrected both ways. First, I was told Mick Gordon did the music. Then I was told he didn't. Then I was told he helped on it. Then I was told it just sounds like it. I have no idea who does the music, but it sounds like Doom music and it sounds great. That's all I know. So just take that for what it is. I have no idea who actually did it. Zeke probably did it.
Zeke
You did great.
Zeke did the music for Rage 2. You heard it here first. Yeah, he's doing music on the side. That's how it goes. Well, cool.
Oh, apparently some people in chat made it. Oh, you guys did great. Good job.
Yeah, Chad usually has a hand in everything, without a doubt. That's just how it goes. Cool. Well, I'll report back next week on how much I hated it. Just go.
I honestly
You'll
think
find
like,
it one side.
I don't think it will like point you. I think it'll just be like it's just dumb fun. Like there's if nothing else, I would say if you like FPSs, this is just like a popcorn
Here's
like action movie. It's great. It's
sure. Here's my thoughts on it. If I played 20 hours of Assassin's Creed, which kind of similar in the terms of like the gameplay is the main thing. The second to second gameplay, the story is like whatever. If I could play 20 hours of that, I could probably get through this just fine because it's just the gameplay seems like super fun, kind of like what I have with AC Origins or Odyssey. What's up?
Somebody just reminded me of something. Do need to mention, and it kind of sucks saying this because it's a big part of the game. Not a big fan of the driving.
Oh,
it's
do you
very
have
fitting.
to?
There's a couple parts of the main story where you have to actually win a race, and like I was raging a bit. Like it's definitely the kind of thing where the cars have a lot of weight, and they're also pretty kind of finicky in terms of like when you turn. So it's a kind of thing where you can turn, accidentally hit the key, like, and 3 seconds later you can't hit, and then you hit a rock, and then you're spiraling the wrong direction. Like it's not quite as I liked it in Mad Max better, which is weird because I think it was the same dev, if I'm not mistaken. But it feels a little wonky. Feels like it needs maybe a patch or two. It's just not quite as easy as I was hoping it would be. Now, granted, I'm not a good driver, but it was.
Well, no streamer is. No one can drive.
When you were racing code, did you have any problems with the game, like
hitching,
like
little pausing? Oh my god, it was driving me crazy. It was making a hard experience like nightmarish. And what he's talking about is the game will pause, but it won't pause and stop. It'll pause and then super fast forward like for 3 seconds. And in that super fast forward for 3 seconds, you have no control over where your car's going. So it's like you'll be doing a hard turn and the game will pause, and then it will fast forward you into the wall because you weren't turning in that little pause. So it's that was very
the racing was a little glitchy.
Like it's already working on it, but
yeah, it's something I'm sure they can patch out, and I'm sure they have to, because that, like, during a race is like the worst time that you want your game to like hitch.
Yeah.
But I will say that the first like story based race that I do, I think I was able to like get first place after like I want to say 3 times, maybe 4 times. So it's not like impossible. It's just a little bit of getting used to it and a little bit of like a little bit of frustration.
Does the difficulty impact how hard the driving is, or the races or whatever are? Okay, so
I
they're
don't
all
think so.
Okay.
Now, don't get me wrong, the races aren't hard. Honestly, JP, you'll probably have a lot easier time than I did because you're somewhat decent at driving stuff. Like I don't think I've watched you. You're a lot better than me. I was able to win on my second attempt, and I barely lost my first attempt. So
Oh man, I was watching you this morning play this, and you started driving something, and without fail, almost like a second into the driving, there was someone in the chat like, "Oh God, here goes co-driving again," and I started to think like, what streamer by chat's rules or judging drives well? Because I don't think there is one. I've never seen a streamer or a chat be like, "Oh my God, he's actually really good." No one says that when it comes to driving. So I want to see a good driver in this game so I can take some lessons. Chat's saying stripping.
Summit. I'm seeing a lot of Summits in chat. I've never seen Summit.
Summit
Oh,
for
he's
sure.
doing a lot of GTA RP.
He does
so
a lot of
maybe
GTA
Yeah, a lot of the
driving.
GTA RP guys have been doing a lot of driving lately. So
Okay.
maybe they're getting good at it.
Huh. All right. I'll have to check in. I'll have to look at it.
I have to hit stuff because for me it's just being on brand, and I don't want to stray too far.
Dude, who wants to drive perfectly when you can run into shit and see it explode? That's what I'm about. I want to see explosions. You don't want to drive perfectly. It's just like when I'm driving in real life. I want to hit other things. That's why I've gone through a lot of cars over the years.
Rubbing is racing, man.
Rubbing is racing. Yeah. Cool. Well, that's Rage 2. I'll report back a little bit on my thoughts next week once I have a chance to play it. But did you already finish the main story of it, or are you getting close to it? You said
I have completed 2 of the 3 lines, and tomorrow I actually think I'm going to finish the 3rd line and then possibly finish the game.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know if the game opens up when it's beaten. I'm kind of curious to see. I don't know if we're going to get like a warning point of no return screen, or if it's just going to let you finish and then do map cleanup, or maybe you get something awesome when you beat the game for map cleanup. I have no idea. I'll let you know next week when I finish it tomorrow.
Sounds good. Let's do some Days Gone spoiler discussion, I guess, is what we can jump into. I'll do the handhold here. Before we jump into the actual spoilers, have your thoughts of the game outside of spoilers changed at all since last time we talked about it on the show? Because you guys were saying like it got a lot better after 6 or 7 hours into it. Did it continue to get better until kind of a crescendo? Yeah, Zeke.
A little, not like a huge amount, but it definitely got a little bit better.
Okay.
I still have this, like by the end of the game, I still have most of the same complaints and most of the same praise that I had.
Yeah.
Quick heads up for Zeke and people in chat. I have finished the main story, but I'm actually tomorrow afternoon going to do the secret ending stuff. So I'd appreciate if we could not talk about that stuff, if that's cool.
I didn't do the secret ending stuff. I looked it up on YouTube because I was like, this is my last day playing Days Gone. I'm done with the game. I'm just gonna I beat the main story. I'm just gonna look up the YouTube endings, and I did, and I was fine with that.
Okay. All right. I'm putting my hand up. We're not going to show gameplay footage of this, so you can keep watching the screen. I don't want to show actual spoilers. We'll just talk about them. When I put this hand down, spoilers are over. Hand up. Here comes spoilers. I'm never going to finish this game. How was the end of it? Was the story worth playing the game? Let's start with that. That's a good jumping off point.
Zeke, go ahead.
My hand's tired. Shit. I didn't think.
I'm already tired. God damn it.
We're talking about Days Gone, chat.
Yeah, we're talking about Days Gone.
Yeah. As far as the story alone will not drive the game. I will say that. There are certain games that you can play that you'll forgive a lot of other stuff because the story is so good. This one is it's a pretty stock story as far as all that goes. I will say that when I watched the secret endings or whatever, the secret ending, the main secret ending, felt like the actual.
What?
No, I'm not spoiling anything, Co. It's just
Okay.
when you get there, you'll understand.
We're in a spoiler cast. Why are we not spoiling things? What are we doing? I've
I've
got my hand up, guys. We're spoiling shit.
I'm just saying, like, when I got to the main story ending, I was like, okay, all right, that's okay, pretty good.
Okay.
But when I YouTube the other shit, I went, that's okay, that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes me about 10 times more interested.
Go ahead, Co. What are your thoughts on the ending?
Literally zero spoilers have occurred at this point. I don't know why my hands.
I loved it. I love the story. I love the characters. I may have gotten a little teary-eyed at the very end. I thought the progression was fantastic. I thought the characters grew throughout the story immensely. I really liked how many of the character lines wrapped up, especially like Corey and some of the different camps. I did a lot of world clearing. I did a lot of going to the different areas. I didn't max the camps before the final area, but overall, I thought it was great. I really enjoyed my adventure with them.
Boozer. What do you think about Boozer? Okay, this is actual spoiler shit.
Great.
Boozer living? Fuck that, dude. That was fucking dumb.
That was rude.
I didn't think it would mean something.
I thought it was very rude that the devs did that, because I'd been saying throughout the game that I was really wanting to have like a nice ending where Sarah, Boozer, and Deacon all lived, and then I thought that the entire point of the Boozer thing, the thing that drove me crazy about that. Okay, let's just go ahead and do the spoiling. So at the end of the game, they are invading this enemy camp, and the plan is to drive this dump truck that they've loaded with fertilizer into the front of this camp. They're going to blow up the armory. They're going to bust the door open. And Boozer is the one driving it. Now, Boozer has been having this tale throughout the game. He's lost his arm. He's questioning, what he wants from life. He's had a few very dejected, like somewhat suicidal things where he's really been wrestling with his purpose and his place. And then right when this truck's about to go in, he's rigging the system so he can jump out. And Deacon notices that he's not like fully done. And then Boozer kicks him out. And he's like, fuck this, I'm doing it. Basically, like, live your life. And then he closes the door and he rams the door in. And you see Deacon kind of like watching it. And you see Deacon see the truck go into it. And then this giant explosion happened. And Deacon comes to, and he's all like, he's got like shell shock. And he's got the weird sound going on because he can't hear right. And so you think Boozer is just dead. And then you do like the ending stuff. And, the ending stuff. I don't want to like just say the ending. But you go through the whole ending process. And, a lot of big stuff happens. And So then at the very end, I'm sitting here pissed off. Like the entire ending sequence, I'm pissed. Because I'm like, let me get this straight. This guy's been fighting for survival for the entire, like the last 3 years. He's been tooth and nail fighting for survival. And he's going to suicide, like not even in a firefight. He's just going to drive a truck in and blow up. Like that's how he's going to go out. He didn't even have to. He could have jumped out.
That's what I was about to ask. Why didn't he just jump out?
Yeah, because that was the whole plan. He was just going to jump out, right? And then I was pissed. Like you can see in the replay, like I'm just like I'm not having fun.
To make sure it actually hit the target. That was the whole point.
Didn't he drive in a straight line?
Anyway, it was a giant door. Like it was a huge truck and a giant door. It was fine. But anyway, so basically like the ending is going on and Deacon is like super distraught, but things are going okay. And then like out of nowhere, like Boozer just walks through this smoke and he's like, oh no, it's cool. I actually jumped out. It's fine.
Oh, that's lame.
And granted, I was super happy when it happened. I was like, oh my God, he's alive. We can have the great ending. This is awesome. But then later looking back, I was like, that was really shitty of the devs. Like that was so unnecessary because like none of that made sense in terms of what actually happened and why he would have done it. And why didn't Deacon see him jump out? Like you clearly see the truck go in and explode. There is no room for anyone jumping out on what you see. So it was very contrived. It was easily the devs go. What is kind of funny though is Boozer does have a line where he's like, you don't actually think that's how I'd go out, do you? And I really feel like that was like the devs talking to the player, like, come on guys, you're not actually gonna do that. Which was kind of fun. That part was kind of fun. But yeah, I mean it was good. The ending is okay, just for the spoilers, let's do it. The ending was good. Your guy basically cleanses out this religious psycho who's declared war on the top of the world or the rest of the world. You do end up saving your wife character. And they kind of get together and they get their wedding rings back and it's super nice and everything. It's basically about the best ending you could get in that situation. Like there are a few main characters that die. There's like this guy named Iron Mike, who's like this big camp guy. He dies. There are some pretty main characters throughout the story that die. There's like some sad tales of like some drug addicts and stuff that are just going down the wrong path. But the ending honestly is pretty happy considering.
Yeah, which I was totally like. The ending should have been that final, like a final fight that you have at the sawmill. That should have been the last thing.
Oh,
in my opinion, you should have taken care of that whole thing, that whole religious militaristic like camp first, and then that fucking shit happens. Like that comes and gets you. Like that should have been the final shit, because that was the most challenging thing in the entire game, was destroying this entire huge horde at this sawmill place. That, in my opinion, was more like the ending was anticlimactic when compared to that shit, because that shit was tense. It was like difficult. It was fun. There was so many different things, like traps you could set up, and I didn't do any of it, of course, but I could see where people would put up traps and whatnot. But I just went in there and like I did like a little, like I put my motorcycle on the outside, went in and like threw bombs and shot him a little bit, and then drove off with my motorcycle to the other side of the camp and then shot him a little bit more. And it took me a fucking long time to do it, but I think that should have been the final thing, and it wasn't. However, secret ending kind of like puts a nice bow.
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to seeing the secret ending stuff. I've had people tell me like it is going to blow my mind, and now hearing this from you, especially considering that you didn't really like the ending, or it could have been better, I'm looking forward to this tomorrow.
It was just a meh. Yeah. All right, you can put your hand down.
Okay, I think we're good, JP.
All right, no more spoilers. But I will ask this: is this a buy or not buy game? What do you guys? We got to do the age old. Do people play this?
Here's the thing. I would easily say this game is a buy if it wasn't for the first 6 hours.
Oh, okay.
It is like I said last week, like I was a single stream away from quitting this game and not even continuing it. Like I was not having fun 6 hours in. And that's a big deal. Like you have to consider that when you're talking about purchasing a game, especially if it's the kind of thing where you don't have a lot of time to play games, like where you get to play a game a month. Like I couldn't recommend this game to somebody who has like 30 minutes to an hour to play a day, like parents and day workers and stuff. It's
normies,
rough.
Is what they say.
No, yeah, those normies. But it's the kind of thing where if you want and you're able to get through the experience all the way to the end, and more importantly, you like the kind of open world Last of Us-y style gameplay, I would say it's a buy.
Okay.
I had fun with it, and yeah, especially if you want to clear everything and 100% it. There's a lot of content in there.
That's a buy from Co. Zeke. Weigh in.
Mike had a good point that I think a lot of games are like lack, especially open world games, is memorable characters, but also like the stakes that you're dealing with. And by stakes, I mean like what's at stake. Is it enough? This is a post-apocalyptic world where you can really push the envelope on morality and choices that can be made, life and death situations. And this game did not do that. It was fun. It was fun all the way through. But man, I just was not invested in almost any of the characters. Like, I think my favorite character was Iron Mike. And you don't even play as him. He's just like a character in the story.
Huh.
Like, there wasn't enough like life or death, tough choices, moral gray area that I think the apocalypse would have. And I think not taking advantage of that is a big misstep for any games like that. Now, like if we're comparing like post-apocalyptic games like in recent history, Days Gone and Rage 2, Rage 2 does it better because it's frivolous. It's all like fun and meaningless and bloody and like everybody's laughing and having like this crazy manic good time. Whereas Days Gone tries to like bring a serious note to this, and they just don't fucking push it hard enough. And they don't like, there's no really like super surprising moments in it. And that's what I think I was most disappointed. Now, there is a lot of gameplay in it, and the gameplay in it is fun, but I can't recommend buying it like at full price for sure. Like I would honestly like get a used up.
I'd say with the first 6 hour issue, a bargain would probably be better too.
Okay.
I honestly think they should rework the entire first part of the game. Like it's honestly that bad. The first 6 hours, first 6 to 7 hours of the game have almost nearly nothing to do with the rest of it. Like you don't do anything interesting. You don't have any real carrot on a stick. There's no real purpose. There's no real mission. Like it's just like you're spinning your wheels for characters that come off as just bitchy and annoying. Because at that point, the game is trying to get you to hate the characters because they want that development. They want you to see this growth, and they have to start somewhere. And I almost think they do too good of a job making you hate them, because you really do hate them. They're just really whiny, and they're like really spoiled children. Like every time you ask them, someone asks them to do something, I guess I can do that. I mean,
You gotta go
if
north.
I have time.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude, just shut up. Like what? Like, come on, man. Like, we get it. You're a bitch. We get it.
I've actually railed against this during my broadcast several times about, do you think this game is worth the buy? And first of all, I just want to say, like, don't put that shit on me, man. I don't know your fucking financial situation. I'm not going to recommend you buy a game if you can only buy one game every 6 months or whatever. And then you come back and you're like, you recommended I buy this game, and, you know, have like some sort of stupid animosity.
Yeah,
I
I
will
know.
say, my grade for this game probably ended up being like a C+.
Okay.
Like it was a B- ish, but like towards the end, without like willing anything, it's just like I wanted more. I wanted more C+.
And on my note, I'd say first 6 hours was C to C minus, but for me it ended like B plus A minus. I did enjoy the character growth. I did enjoy the characters. There were a few scenes that were really tough. Not gonna lie, like a little spoilery, just real quick, 20 seconds. Like there's this one scene with a drug addict, man, and this drug addict, it like I don't know if you saw that, Zeke. I don't know if it was optional, but like there's this really tough scene where this relatively good kid makes a really bad decision, and you essentially like catch him out, and you have your character basically gets to either bring him back to get publicly hung or do something about it. And this guy is high as shit on the ground. He's like, I don't want to get hung. Please don't let me get hung. Please don't let me get hung. So Deacon just reaches over and he takes the drugs and he's like, okay, just calm down. And he just straight ODs him right there. Like kills him. And I mean there's a few scenes like that in the game. And it's heavy, dude. Like they're really well done. They're really well done.
Right.
Jeez.
That was like the only scene that I can remember that I was just like, that had some fucking weight to it, and it even actually sparked a nice conversation in my chat about that kind of shit. Which
Well,
I
not
really enjoyed. But,
spoil
like,
it.
there weren't near enough of those.
And not to get into it too much, Zeke, but also the story with the girl and like her, you know, the bald girl, you know who I'm talking about, like her situation and stuff.
That could have been like a big part of the game instead of some side shit. Like I loved that idea, and they could have delved way deeper into that shit for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, but I gotta say, I'm looking forward to these secret endings tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing them probably tomorrow around 1 p.m. for anyone that wants to check them out. But we're gonna do them in game and try to keep them all as like. Oh, also I'm gonna kill a bunch of zombie hordes, which should be fun. By the way, Zeke, I heard you had a hard part with that lumber horde. I loved that. Like I had a great time. I think I died 2 or 3 times, but I just went in with like full of napalm and explosives and all sorts of shit, and I was putting down remote mines and stuff, and I loved clearing that horde. That was one of my favorite parts of the game.
Oh yeah, no, it was absolutely one of my favorite parts too. It was super satisfying once I got it done, but it was pretty goddamn difficult, and if I would have spent more time patiently setting up stuff, then it would have been, it would have cost me a lot less time completing it, but I wasn't. I had the napalm shit, but I didn't. I just am too impatient for that kind of shit. I'm a go in there and wreck them, and it ended up taking me more time than it would have otherwise.
Now you said lumber. Well, go ahead, and then I have a question about the.
The lumberyard is the biggest horde in the game.
Right? Didn't they show that?
That's not really a spoiler because it was in the E3 thing.
Yeah,
actually
that was the
mentioned
E3 thing, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I
I
was
think
asking.
in the E3 video they say this is one of the biggest horde locations in the game. So it's not really a spoiler.
Oh, so okay. Well, it's the same thing. Gotcha.
Oh, did you do it at normal difficulty, Co?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. That probably
I
accounted.
heard I did hear though from people that played it on the hardest difficulty. In fact, one of my mods is replaying the game in the hardest difficulty, and he says he can barely feel a difference. So I don't know if it's just not well tuned or something. Because I was dying on normal. Like it was not. If a horde touched me, essentially, I was dead. Because if you get staggered once, then they just like they flock on you. It's done.
You never let.
Oh, and for the
hordes
record, for
touch
those
you.
that don't know, I live in North Carolina. It's pronounced napalm. Thank you. And if you're wondering what the sound is, I talked about the stream about this. If you're wondering how to pronounce it properly, if you ask anyone in North Carolina, like, where is France on a map? They go, and that's how you say napalm. Napalm. That's how you say it here. It kind of like flows off the tongue a little bit better.
All right. Glad we cleared that up. That's Days Gone. I'll talk. The only thing that I played a lot of it, but the only thing I played between last show and now is this game. It's not Rage 2. It's Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This is the Atlantis DLC, but spoilers, you don't go to Atlantis at all. You go to Elysium. There's no Atlantis in the Atlantis DLC, which was really weird. I think that you go there eventually because there's 3 parts to it. Only the first part's out. But this is Elysium, which is really cool. But I am going to spoil the first DLC because it pissed me the fuck off, and this is why. I'm not even going to put my spoiler hands up for this because people need to know how stupid this is. In the second part of the first DLC, I remember when it first came out that there was a lot of, let's say, controversy around this stuff. And I remember reading it and was like, that's weird. And I forgot about it. So I'm playing the second DLC, and there's a character that's in the DLC that is just the most unforgettable person in the world. There's 0 interesting factors about this guy whatsoever. And the entire...
You mean most forgettable?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yes, thank you. The most forgettable character. And just like in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, whenever you have a chance to romance someone, the little like heart icon comes next to the dialogue option. And they're like you're starting to see a lot of those as you're talking to this guy and doing more and more quests. And I just always shrugged him off. He's super boring. He's not even like an attractive in-game character. He's just a boring dude. Okay? He's just a boring guy. Not a hot guy. Just looks real fucking boring. The end of the second DLC, it's basically forced upon you. You have his kid. You just decide, the game decides for you that you are now going to have a kid with this guy and you are in love with this guy. There is, apparently they took out like a kissing scene within the game. It was just cut from the DLC after the fact. It's not there.
Wait, can't you be a dude or a chick?
Yes. It's a girl. And if you're a guy main character, then it becomes a girl. They swapped the genders of it so that it
Was
works.
the chick hot at least?
I don't know. I didn't see her. I played Cassandra, who's the real fucking character in the game. This fucking other fake ass character. Don't even get me started on that shit. But he is just, it's so stupid that they force you to have this guy's kid. Because the entire time you can sleep with a ton of different people, both genders in the game. And then it basically just says, by the way, you have a kid now and you're supposed to care about this person and your kid. The third DLC starts, of course, the guy gets like taken or killed and the baby gets taken and sets up like the whole DLC. But it was just such a stupid, forced thing. And I knew about it when it happened because I remember there was a lot of controversy around it. But having played it, it wasn't, the reason that it was controversial was for other reasons. What it should have been is just fucking bad storytelling. It's stupid storytelling. It was so awful.
I gotta say,
just
dude,
forced this shit on you.
Is this area as pretty as it looks?
This is the good DLC. This is the Atlantis DLC where you're in Elysium. And yes, it is fucking drop dead gorgeous. It is. I was playing. You remember Chrono Trigger when you go to the floating islands, whatever their name was? That's basically what this place is. It's Elysium. Like Persephone is the god. Persephone is the one who rules over this, and it is drop dead gorgeous. It's super fucking fun to run around it. And I had a great time with that DLC. But that first DLC, man, it pissed me off. It was so stupid.
Zeal.
Yeah, Zeal, exactly. But this is good. Story's good. Only the first part's out. The second part, I think, is coming in June, and final part is in August. And then this was like a 15-hour DLC. Like, there's a lot of stuff in this, and I don't think it's that. I don't know how much it was. I had the season pass, so I can't tell you how much this is by itself. But I had a great time with it. It's just more Assassin's Creed. If you don't like the gameplay loop of Assassin's Creed, you're not going to be super. It's kind of like Rage 2, or at least what you guys said about Rage 2. If you don't like the gameplay of this, don't buy the DLC because the story is good, but it's not. You're playing to stab people. You're playing to go and kill a bunch of motherfuckers, just like you kind of are in Rage 2. So I had a fun time with it. I can't wait for the next one to come out. And this place is drop dead gorgeous. Those waterfalls are the entire area.
I was going to say, I love those waterfalls, man.
Yeah. It's the entire area. Let me see if I can show you some of the center field because that's where it's really cool. That's like the map.
that's actually one thing that I wanted to say about Rage and about
This
like
right here. Look at this shit.
gaming these days. Like, I think we're spoiled for mobility. Like, if your game doesn't have, you can get around places quickly, or it's fun to get around places. Like Assassin's Creed is one of those games where it looks like you can just climb over everything.
Yeah.
And like get anywhere you want by just like finding a couple of handholds and getting up to the roof or whatever. Rage does that very well. After a while, if you get a couple of like power ups, like you can go like other places, and it's fun to like parkour and move and that kind of shit. And you move fairly quickly. So I think that's I played games that have slow or stunted mobility, and it just feels like I'm playing in a fucking swamp.
See, and to hear you say that, but then hear that you played all of Days Gone, I thought Days Gone felt like fucking mud. I thought that the actual controls and like movement in that game felt like the worst shit I've ever it was the first thing I noticed walking around in the game. I just wanted to put the controller down and go wash my hands because it was bad.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Bad. And it just felt hard.
It didn't bother me as much once I started getting fast travel points.
Yeah.
But it was like, you're absolutely correct. The mobility of that game felt really slow compared to like other games. Oh, and can we never, ever, 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 going back to Days Gone, make you go, Red Dead Redemption did this too, like go walking speed in certain like camp areas, safe areas. Don't ever do that.
That sucks.
It's unnecessary. Yeah. I don't care if it's cinematic. Don't slow me down. It just pisses me off.
Yeah.
Are you riding a nightmare?
This Assassin's Creed has a lot of different horses that you can acquire through both in-game, this is in-game, and monetary means. This is you get this for defeating all the mercenaries, or sorry, the highest level mercenary in the game. You get this like flaming horse. There's another flaming horse that you can buy. But I remember in Origins, I had the unicorn horse, and that broke all my immersion as well, because it was the fucking Peggle horse following me around as I was stabbing people. But yes, that is a flaming horse.
And for just real quick, for those of you saying like you like it when you slow down in like camp areas and shit, that's why you walk with like the stick, because you can choose to walk if you want to. Fuck you.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. All right. We got 20 minutes. Zeke, did you do an Indie Sunday? Because we do have quick Crazy Dan's questions. Okay. How many games did you play?
I think 3 that I can show.
Oh God, is one of them like X-rated or something?
Oh, one of them was straight up porn that I accidentally like. People were like, "It's straight up porn." I've heard that before.
Well, now I'm really.
I've heard people say that before, and it's just like it was a visual novel game that the first like scene in the game is just naked chick, completely shorn, titties hanging out. And I was just like, "Oh, it's actually straight up porn." Okay, cool. And I turned it off.
So
now,
considering I probably already have this in my library, what's it called?
Hold on. Before you reveal this, can I take a guess? Because my options are Mother Simulator, Oops, I Slept with Your Mom, Where's My Mommy, and Raccoon. I'm going to go with Oops, I Slept with Your Mom.
You didn't even hit it yet.
Oh, there's one that was under Games and Demos that you played for 8 minutes. So is it the Games and Demos?
Yep.
Okay. Great.
Yep. But all the rest of the games either are innocuous and innocent, or they're titled purposely misleading.
Okay.
Like, Oops, I Slept with Your Mom. Well, Mother Simulator we've seen before.
Oh.
Mother Simulator is a game where you have a robo baby and you have to like make her bottle and change the diaper and all that kind of shit. And I just started with that game because it was Mother's Day. It was mother themed, indie day.
What?
So I just started with that one because I knew that one was fun, and I only had like 3 achievements to get all the rest of them. So I just spent a little while doing that at the beginning of the game or beginning of the day, and then I went to Oops. Oh, of course, chat voted for. Yes, to vote for what's next. And they voted for Oops, I Slept with Your Mom, and this is Oops, I Slept with Your Mom. You're a baby, and you're looking for your own mother, and sometimes you end up sleeping with, like, because that's the whole point of the game is to get through these rooms, not get caught by grandpa, the dog, flies, the cat, grandma, some sort of witch, some sort of whatever. And then that's what you do. That's the end of the end of the level is that you sleep with a mother. But the whole idea of the game is that you have to go through all these levels to eventually sleep with your own mother.
I think maybe the
As a-
peak of my entire career is going back and re-editing it so that it's capsed. Oops, I slept with your mom, so that's on screen down there at the bottom. That's probably the
Also-
highlight.
You're misspelling it. It has 3 exclamation points after oops.
Well, it's,
Very important because there's actually a previous game with only 1 exclamation point. You do not want to touch that
there
one.
we go.
That's a
Oh my
completely
God,
different.
no, no.
Oops, I slept with your mom. Do
Yeah.
not play that.
Yeah.
That one will get the FBI on you.
You're
Sounds like-
looking at the game, and it's as shitty as you think it is. It's just, you're not my Billy, and he kicks your ass back to the beginning of the level. And I think after, how long did I play this? Oops, I slept with your mom. I played this for 48 minutes. It lasted quite a while. I played it for 48 minutes, and I think I got on the leaderboard, I think I got just shy of 3rd place of all time points. There's one dude that has like probably one of the developers that has like 600,000 points, and like 2nd place is like 9,000. So like I got
What the hell?
like 3rd or 4th place or something, like on the entire leaderboard. It's hilarious. But yeah, the game is by Hidoi Games. It's $1.99. It was fucking awful and hilarious and fun, and I had no idea what it was going to be like when I went into it. See, yep, there it was. I think I got up to 4th. I displaced Tech.
Good Lord.
There it is, 60,000. Yeah, that's
Okay. I got to be careful because the next game is the games and demo. So we're going to go to Where's My Mommy, the game.
Yeah.
Here's
Where's My Mommy? This game completely misleading. You're a turd. You are a piece of poop, and you have this is me starting. I'm figuring it out. Yeah, mommy, I'll save you, poopy. So you're trying to find your mom that's getting pooped out, and you play a little turd nugget, and you can be hard or soft, or hard or liquid. So the hard turd nugget can go through stuff like that. Little like cheese grater stuff. You have to be a liquid poop to get through it. So it's like a level attack game where you like hard you go through the light bulb, but liquid you go through the hair dryer or whatever. And you have to just switch between those. You can double jump and jump over stuff. And let me tell you, the controls are not great. In a game that is only about controlling stuff, like it's tough to switch between because it actually takes like a second or two to switch between liquid and hard poop. And a lot of times they set it up. It's all random, by the way. The levels are generated when you start over again, so they're not all the same every time. And they'll purposely set up shit like that's too close together for you to actually physically possibly like switch between liquid and hard poop to get through it and that kind of stuff. So I don't want to spend too much more time talking about this game because it had shitty controls and it's a shitty game.
now, Zeke, the side quests in this game, are they cookie cutter or are you finding yourself, are they unique?
Well, here's the deal. I mean, spoilers. You're going.
Next game.
Where's My Mommy? Oh, I love this. It's developed and published by Exquisite Games.
Nice.
It's $5.99. It's not worth $1, I would say. I don't think it's worth 99 cents. But it was fun for me to play for a little bit. Just because it had mommy in the title, but it has nothing to do with it. Moving on.
What is
What's the next
Raccoon?
game?
What is this? The Raccoon?
Oh, okay. This game I didn't want to put any time into it because I didn't want to put a lot of time into it because Raccoon is an RPG Maker game. Like someone went to RPG Maker or had that and created a game about this boy in a hospital that has to like solve mysteries and make friends, and like it's just like ham-fisted, like tear jerker, like hospital overcoming the odds. Everybody has diseases, and you make friends with everybody who is sick in the hospital and shit. I have no capacity. I had no capacity for that after playing a game where you're a hard or liquid shit.
Yeah, it's quite a jump.
So I played it for a little bit and I went, nah, not for me. Yeah, I played it for about 30 minutes and that was way too much. This game is $9.99 on Steam. It's called Rakuen, Rakuen. You can see it down below there. By Laura Shigahara. It came out. It has overwhelmingly positive reviews.
That's
Like
what someone in chat just said.
Like 1900 overwhelmingly positive reviews. So I'm not gonna say anything good or bad about it. I had no patience to even delve into it. It wasn't like immediately fun or weird or loud. So I was just like, nah. Next game, please.
All right, next one, last one. Save your mother. What is save your mother?
Is my voice like
You have auto ducking on or something like that, yeah. But it doesn't matter. Let's talk about save your mother.
Save Your Mother, another RPG Maker game.
Yeah.
I'd imagine. Let me turn down.
Oh, you are gonna worry about it. Okay.
There we go. No, I just want my voice to be fucking heard. JP, it's important to me.
Remember what I said about nitpicking? Do we need to circle back about how we? Go ahead. What is save your mother?
Save Your Mother is another RPG Maker game. Came out 2015. There's surprisingly little amount of mother-based games that you can find on the in the Steam library that aren't Earthbound, because people were saying Earthbound's like that's a whole other day. If I play Earthbound, it's gonna have its own.
Have you played Earthbound before?
I never have.
Oh, you should check it out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's gonna be its own thing.
Yeah.
This game is just like an RPG Maker game. It has all this Final Fantasy, like old Final Fantasy, like UI shit.
Yeah.
The surprisingly, the battle system is kind of okay. It's real-time battle. It's not like turn-based. Yep, you get this giant spider with like a Donald Trump toupee on that you have to fight.
I mean, the character responded appropriately.
But it's real time, and you have to go through your inventory, like attack, item, guard, tech. You use the tech, you get that, you press it. But it's not turn based. It's all in real time, so you have to do it. You have to do it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Nothing really like super intuitive or anything like that to report. But it's only $3.99 on Steam. It's by Tuomo Lane. Developer Tuomo's Games is the name of the developer and the publisher. It has mixed reviews. I can see why. It's nothing super special. A lot of shit copied from other games. The story is just like bland as fuck. Go save your mom. But it was. I mean, how long did I play it for? I played it for like 53 minutes, like almost an hour. So it kept me interested for that long at least.
All right.
And I don't feel bad because it's only $4.
Let's save your mother.
Yeah.
All those. What did you play for the rest of the broadcast?
Did we ever talk? We didn't ever talk about Lorelei, did we? Or did we?
No.
Lorelei was on Indie Sunday by the same people that did Cat Lady, or The Cat Lady.
I think you said that you were going to go play it, but we never talked about it.
I finished that game.
Let's save it for next week because we only got 10 minutes and we got Crazy Dan's questions of the week. What?
All right. Okay.
What is this? Just in game name, not
fantastic.
reviews. What is this? Is this Lorelei?
Oh no! This is Macrotus, A Mother's Journey.
Oh, this wasn't in.
This was actually the shining gem of this Mother's Day Indie Sunday. It was. I mean, the game is fucking gorgeous. The puzzles are actually pretty fun to figure out. And the mechanics of it get more and more complicated. Like This is a little bit later in the game where you basically you find a wizard, and the wizard gives you like these lessons on how to do like astral projection shit. You play as a bilby, which is I guess is an actual like rodent creature in some part of the world.
I don't know.
But you like astral project, and it teaches you how to like you can go through walls, and you can do this and this, and you use that to like figure out certain screens, like puzzle screens in the game. The music is fucking tastic. The visuals are gorgeous. It has like a sort of Ori vibe, but it's not as fast paced. It's less level attack stuff, and more like every screen is a puzzle that you figure out. And like you figure, see that platform in the middle of the screen there that's like all jagged and like has like pieces. Your astral projection has no weight, so you can climb on that, but you couldn't. It would just crumble. And that kind of puzzle, like it adds more mechanics as it goes on, and it's actually pretty fucking cool. Like I give it a total thumbs up, man.
What was the name of this? You said, and it's not in the Twitch thing, so
it's MACROTIS.
That's a cool way they did that water.
MACROT.
It should be in there. I think it's in there.
Like that? Like Macrotis?
Yep, Macrotis, and it has a colon, and then it says A Mother's Journey.
Okay.
This game was developed by Proud Dinosaurs and published by Awesome Information Technologies. It's $9.99. The blurb is help Mother Bilby as she struggles underground to find her children in this magical indie 2.5D puzzle platformer game. It's an unforgettable adventure for those who love being challenged. Now, I will say that some of the puzzles were pretty challenging and pretty fun to figure out. Like the difficulty in this particular game that I enjoyed was that some of the puzzles you have to like get all of the elements right, or you have to start them over again. Like this block is flowing down the river, and you astral project out of it, and you have to like jump along the way and clear obstacles, or you have to do it beforehand and stuff like that. And it was really satisfying once I got like that entire like particular puzzle section figured out. Everything was like, okay, this knocks over this crumbles, this goes over here, this drops, and the water raises and stuff like that. And to boot, has great background music, and it looks fucking gorgeous. It's fun to look at. And it's $9.99. I'd say, man, like this is I debated whether like I want to go back and finish this game. I might do it. Like I want to do like an indie, like a best of Indie Sunday, and go back and visit games that like I've given like only a couple of hours to. Like this game, like 2 full hours, and I had a blast the whole time.
Cool. All right. Yeah, go check it out.
Yeah.
Is that?
And it's really new too. It's if I'm not mistaken, it came out February of this year.
Cool. Yeah, we will check in on Lorelei next week. Don't let me forget.
Yeah,
you probably will, but chat, don't let me forget. They won't. They never forget. It's question time of the week. We got 3 questions from Dan once again. First question, and eventually there will be a thing on the screen that has this stuff. That's
I love that you look at your phone like he sent you a text. Like, let's see what Dan's.
I mean, it's effectively that. I don't have. I guess I could pull it up on the other monitor, but I like the phone thing. It's more personal that way, right? First question. I've not read these yet. As a streamer, I imagine that having a large network of fellow streamers is objectively an absolute necessity. However, having your social life revolve entirely around your job doesn't seem wise either. Is it ever difficult to find a balance between having a social life outside of Twitch and within? I think that's probably one of the number one issues. Yeah.
I'll start there.
Yeah.
I just dropped my social life. I don't have one anymore. I actually replaced it with Twitch. So I basically spend my life with my family or with my Twitch community, where I generally spend most of my most like here. It's kind of weird to say this, but it's absolutely true. I speak to people in my Twitch chat every single day that I've been talking to every single day for 5 years.
Yeah.
Some of them I talk to for hours every single day. I know more about specific people in my Twitch chat than I do almost anyone I know in real life in some cases. It's really wild. Many of these people I'm talking about, I've met at cons. I've had dinner with a few of them. So it kind of depends on how far you want to take it. There are people, like a good way to say it is, there are people that are kind of social butterflies. And there are streamers that are social butterflies. They stream with a bunch of other streamers at once. They go out to party. They travel with their streaming group. Bikeman in chat is in a team called Late Shift. They're a group of friends. They just all went on a cruise together.
Yeah,
like
true.
they had a great time. So the thing about Twitch streaming is you kind of get out what you need by putting in what you want to. I'm not a very social person. I haven't, before I started streaming, my best friends I could count on one hand. So it's the kind of thing where I just, it's kind of perfect for me. But other people that need that kind of social interaction and really want that kind of thing, you can structure your Twitch stream around it, like a lot of these streamers that do. It all depends on how you want to run it.
Yeah, I would think most streamers forego a social life. Like that's just a general
Or
thing.
integrate it.
Yeah, or yeah, and I'd also argue that most streamers are introverted, which a lot of people wouldn't think because we're in front of people all the time, but most streamers are introverts. I would say that's pretty common.
I would say most streamers with exceptions. Because
well,
what's
there's always
interesting,
exceptions. Yeah,
something I've really noticed is like the live stream fail streamers. I feel like they're the opposite. I feel like a lot of times those people, like they get like houses together and stuff, and they go out and record themselves being social. So like these days there's a different way to do that. You know what I mean? Like they bring the social aspect directly into their content, and that's a way to do it if that's what you want to do. So it's how you want to integrate it and how you want to go about doing it.
one could argue that the content there, though, is that the people that are brought into said houses are not necessarily socially.
Brother,
I'm going to stop myself.
Okay, listen, I'm not analyzing. That's a whole different show. We could have an entire episode on that.
We'll just move on. Zeke, what are your thoughts on the question?
Dude, I'm extra as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
I'm extra like extroverted. Like I'm totally like wherever I go, like you probably know I'm there because I'll be laughing the loudest or be just talking over everybody and shit like that. Like I've always been like that. I've always like that. And as far as like my social life goes, it has changed, but it has, I don't know if it's lessened because my social life counts, like talking to chat, because those are real people. Like that counts, in my opinion.
I think so, yeah.
As my like IRL like relationships kind of dwindled to like a core set, then yeah, sure. Like I don't go out, but I feel healthier because when I would go out like with my friends, it was always to go out to party and to like do, unhealthy shit, drinking and drugs and that kind of stuff. But now like I don't feel lonely at all ever because of my job is talking with people over the internet. Because they're not here and can't like see them face to face doesn't mean like it doesn't fulfill that like human social need.
Mhm.
And also I go to like every con that I can with like that our kind of people like go to, and that absolutely fulfills. And I do that quite often, like once every couple of months I'm at one of those things, like socializing with people, because I think that's important as well.
Yeah.
Or important for me.
I completely agree with Zeke, by the way. Like my personal, my social quota, what I used to go out and do and what I used to like drive out to participate in is basically my Twitch streams these days. Like I get my news from there. I get to check up on the people that I'm dealing with and care about the most these days. I get like to talk to great folks all the time. Like it's kind of a win-win. And then the really cool part about it is like, not only is that the job and social aspect, but then when you're done streaming, it's like 100% family, So for people like me that actually have like a family and stuff that needs a lot of time and attention, I can do both of those while still working a full-time job. I don't know if I'd be able to do that, for instance, at my old IT job. I used to spend multiple days a week out with friends and doing stuff like that. And these days, having that in a family would be a completely different situation.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Second question. He says, this question is for you, Co. Co, when you speak of games that you've played, you seem to have a unique way of doing so. How long did it take for you to develop your own unique style of critiquing games, and how did you discover what your method of doing so was the way that was best? I think, yes, I read that correctly.
Ooh, wow. The thing that I'm guessing he's alluding to is how I'm generally positive about games. And the short answer is I got tired of disliking them. I got tired of focusing on the negative parts of life. It's just in general. And that kind of extended into gaming as well. So what I tend to do when I play games is, even though there are almost always things I dislike, and honestly, years ago I was kind of a negative person, would focus on that stuff. I really make an effort these days to not only focus on the things I like, but, and this is going to sound basic, but it's true because I actually lost sight of this. I try to really enjoy the things that I like. I try to focus on the good parts. I try to connect the good parts and go over what I don't like, and really just kind of immerse myself in what I'm enjoying at the time. We live one time on this planet. We don't have a lot of time. So to spend that time focusing on shit that is not going to give us good memories, that is not going to build something positive. It took me a long time, 30 plus years, to learn that, in my opinion, that's kind of a waste of time in a lot of ways. When you're playing it to have fun, that's the important thing that I should mention. That's why games are a little bit different, because you play games to entertain yourself. You don't play games to have a bad time. There's plenty of other things you can do in life to have a shitty time. Games aren't one of them. So when you're playing games, you should be having fun. You should be enjoying it. Damn it. And frankly, that's one of the things that I try to do these days. That's one of the reasons that I love streaming, because it's just like, you can really just focus on what you're having fun with and then grow and experience that, instead of just being the opposite, which is what a lot of people do. Oh, I don't like this. And this is, and don't get me wrong, I sometimes fall into those holes, and sometimes my chat is awesome and helps me pull out of that stuff. But focusing on the positive, it works in so many different things in life. And as somebody who did not do that for most of their life, I can tell you, trying to follow that mantra is life-changing.
I agree. Makes sense. Third, or Zeke, do you want to add anything to that before I move on?
No.
Okay.
This question for Go. Let him answer.
Third and final question. I think we can all agree that chat can sometimes, or can be a monster to tame sometimes. Moderators certainly help. However, has there ever been an unfortunate situation where any of you have had to moderate the moderators? How often would you say this happens?
I've had to.
Yeah, the infamous come to Jesus.
You guys both just said stuff at the same time.
Go ahead, Zeke.
We need to bring it back, Co. We got to cut them off now so we get at least one. Go ahead, Zeke.
Here's the thing. Yeah. I'm not used to being able to interrupt.
I know.
I don't understand. Brand new thing for me.
Usually it just cancels the other one out. So I'm like, okay, we heard one of those. That's good. What were you saying, Co? Like, it's worked in the past. Anyway, Zeke, go ahead.
No, yeah, absolutely. As your channel changes, you need it. Like, there's a term called the come to Jesus meeting. Have you guys heard that term?
Oh yes.
Yeah. The come to Jesus meeting means, like, it's just a turn of phrase meaning, like, okay, shit's got out of control. We all need to get on the same page. Like, you have to give your heart up to Jesus. But what that really means is that you've overlooked certain things that were annoying for a long time, or that weren't quite right, or the attitude of it wasn't quite what you wanted. And you have to get everybody in the same room and say, like, okay, this is what I want for my channel. And you have to do it in such a way where the people, like, your mods are your biggest friends, your biggest allies, and your biggest defenders. But if because a lot of people think that your mods speak for you, and in a lot of ways they do, but they are their own people. So they're going to have their own fucking takes on everything. So if I make a joke one day and then they make a similar joke the next day and it doesn't come off right, it's because they're not the streamer and it feels like it's a power trip for them. So I do have to have conversations with mods. Mods have come and gone based on things I've said, or taken more forefront roles, or taken a step back on their roles as moderators and stuff like that. What was the original question? I fucking got lost.
Have you ever had to
my own-
moderate your moderators? Which you're
Oh.
answering it exactly. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. I'm sure there's people who I don't know if I've ever really like kicked a mod out, but I've definitely had moments where we knew the rift was big enough and they kind of just stopped showing up because we didn't see eye to eye. And that's okay. I don't hold any animosity towards them or anything like that. It's just our personalities or our idea of the way things should go did not jibe. And frankly, in my channel, my word is law. If I say I want it this way, I want it this way. If you don't like that, go fuck yourself, I guess.
Hey, this is Zekonia.
It's very true.
King Zeke sets the rules.
This is a dictatorship, not a democracy.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. Yeah, I think mod drama is definitely. I mean, mod drama is kind of a shortened version to say like moderating the moderators. I think that's rampant across Twitch. I think that it's very easy to see someone when you're first starting out, or even when you're been doing it for as long as we have. When you see someone taking the initiative to either police or provide information or do mod-like activities, it's very easy to be like, hey, you're doing a great job. Let's go ahead and give you mod. But sometimes that can turn really sour very quickly. And I think that's probably one of the bigger issues is people are too quick to kind of jump into that and thrust moddom on someone before really like having the person actually be tested in a sense. And so that's one of the ways that I think moderating the moderators can come into play. Zeke, you got your finger up. Are you spoiling something?
No, it's no, it's just my entire moderation setup has been so much better since instituting, like, I don't know, however long ago, a few years ago, unanimous mod vote in. Like all my mods have to vote in.
Right.
The
That's
next
a good
mod.
way to do it.
They have to unanimously agree on them.
Right.
And if one person disagrees, then that's fine. End of discussion.
And it's more important that happens than the streamer approve of them in some way.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, when we bring a new mod into my mod team, we do an application process. Those applications are distributed among the team. They pick their favorites. That goes to me. I then pick from them, and then they decide who gets the final one. And it's because they're the ones that are going to be working with them all day. I mean, yeah, sure, they're going to be interfacing with me, but this is the group that's going to be working together. So it's like, it's more important they get along, honestly.
And the other thing too, I mean, mods, it could be argued that mods know what's happening in chat more than the streamer.
Oh, hell yeah.
Probably definitively argued because we're playing a game. We're entertaining. We're not moderating and reading every single we miss stuff. It's why a lot of people paste the same thing over and over to try to get our attention because we miss stuff. So yeah, like mods know your channel better than what you're doing as a streamer a lot of times. So if they see someone or recognize a name that has been helpful and whatnot in the past, then they're going to know right off the bat if someone is worthwhile of being a mod in the channel, etc. So yeah.
And yeah, in terms of the question, like, thankfully I can say these days, I have an extremely awesome team. I trust all of them and it's incredible. I think Zeke is probably in a similar situation. Probably you too, JP. Like once you get to a point where you have this team that you can rely on. Like I was just sick for the last 5 days. These guys basically ran my business for like 5 days with replays. They were monitoring chat the whole time. Like literally, I'm not kidding when I say I could not do this without them. However, and I think I speak for all those streamers when I say this, nobody starts with that team. And getting to that point can be rough. I have had to have very uncomfortable talks with moderators. I have had to fire moderators while they are in tears begging me not to. I have caught them in straight up lies and had to remove them. I had to remove a mod because I got sent screenshots. There were other channels threatening to ban people in my channel if they disrespected them in that other channel. I had a mod that got in some beef with Twitch, and I essentially was asked to remove them. It's a pretty serious, crazy situation sometimes, and it can modding and being a mod can sometimes be a pretty big deal, especially for people that do this for a living. This is our life. This is our job. So it's very important to us that this stuff is done properly. And yeah, that is over the years, modding the mods, especially at the beginning, is a huge deal. It kind of depends on what kind of streamer you are and how far you want to go with it, and also how far you take modding in your community. That can dictate a lot of this too. The looser the rules, the more leeway for just being, having fun and having a good time together. So it's an interesting situation, unique to every streamer. And I know that where it was really tough in the past, thankfully these days it's pretty great. But yeah, it's some of my worst time streaming where we're dealing with those situations.
Well, there's some of the most stressful, right? Because if you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
do it correctly, or you address it aggressively, or you fuck it up, essentially, that comes back on you, and that's not a good thing to happen in today's age where things spiral out of control very, very quickly. And so it's very stressful to deal with that stuff as streamers. So the hope is that you are able to find mods within your channel that you can trust with all that stuff, and kind of like all three of us have, I think it's safe to say. So
I would like to again shout out.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'd like to again shout out Dan for his awesome questions. Like, these were great this week. Sorry, go ahead, Zeke.
No, just real quick. Do you guys have like a right hand mod, like one particular one that like diffuses into the rest?
I do.
I actually have a mod manager. I have a full-time position that like he actually quit his job to be my mod manager. It's the boatman, and he is instrumental in helping run the rest of the team. That being said, every mod is a gear in the machine, and the machine does not run if a gear is missing. So it's he may be a bigger gear, but everyone is just as important in terms of getting the job done.
I feel you.
Cool. All right.
What about
Thanks.
you? Do you have one, JP?
Oh yeah. I have a head
You got a
mod.
righty?
Yeah, it's. I wouldn't say that it's a head mod. It's a mod with more responsibilities. Is maybe the best way to put it. Kind of like a little bit what Co was saying, but like they have other responsibilities outside of like modding the channel. In that sense. So
Yeah.
are they a head mod? No, I don't really like that type of hierarchy, but they definitely have responsibilities outside the channel.
I just went with the one that kisses my ass the best and laughs at my jokes. It's great. It's a good choice.
Yeah,
I haven't been disappointed yet.
for sure. All right, we're over. Let's get out of here, do some shout outs, and we'll call it a show. Zeke, start us off.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. My name is Ezekiel III. You can find me at or slash Ezekiel_III on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Right after this, in about 45 minutes, I will be on twitch.tv/TableStory doing my Nocturne tabletop role-playing game. Not mine, but the tabletop game that I am a part of called Nocturne. I missed it last week because I was doing other shit, but I'm really excited to come back. It's just every week it just ramps up the stakes and the weirdness and the terror and the laughs. It's great. So I'm excited to do that. And then tomorrow, I'm debating on what game I want to start tomorrow because I'm only going to be here for two full broadcast days, and then I'm going to Oregon to hang out with Sarah Kool-Aid Show. So I'm debating on whether I want to pick up the Plague Tale because that looks awesome, but it's a new game, or go into my old game roots and maybe do some Beavis and Butthead. So maybe we'll Beavis and Butthead virtual stupidity. So maybe we'll have a straw poll on my Twitter later today to see what you guys would rather.
All right, we'll look forward to it. Co, do some shout outs, sir.
Sure. As always, big thanks to JP and Zeke. A very fun show this week catching up. Thanks all of you guys for watching and all of the people that have been watching me and been so patient over this last week while I've been sick. My name is Co. For those that haven't met me, hi. Going to be streaming 8 a.m. for the foreseeable future rest of this week, as long as I don't relapse into sickness. We're going to be finishing Rage 2. We're going to be doing the Days Gone secret endings tomorrow. Going to be checking out a Plague's Tale, maybe looking at swag and sorcery. We got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline and a laundry list of games to play. So I hope to see you in the channel. And as always, thanks for being here and see you next week.
Awesome stuff. That's it for Drop Frames this week. We should be back next week with another show. There's not too much coming out before E3, so maybe I don't know.
What's the next big release?
I was just thinking about that. I was trying to think what's the next big release, but I don't think there is one for quite some time, unless there's some indie stuff that I'm missing. AAA wise.
Oh, well, Void Bastards, 29th. That'll be fun.
Sure.
There's the new Total War coming out in a week. Yeah, that one's going to be cool.
Are
I'm
you
actually
gonna check
checking
that
out
out?
that.
Okay.
Oh, I am. Yes, they actually pinged me if I wanted to do a sponsored thing. So I said I wanted to check it out. Sure.
Yeah,
so I'm going to be.
I saw that email. Yeah. I didn't respond, unfortunately, because I don't play this type of game. So
My first Total War game was Warhammer.
Yeah,
I actually really enjoyed that. I played it for like 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm going to be checking that out too. Oh, Mario Maker 2 comes out soon. That's pretty cool. For those things, Sinking City, is that confirmed? I thought it got pushed back again. Is that actually coming out soon?
What's Sinking City?
Sinking City is that really cool mystery, like Cthulhian, Lovecraftian game that's coming out. Like it got delayed a bunch of times.
Gotcha.
But oh, it is next month. Okay. Well, it's still pretty soon. That's cool. Awesome. Oh, Druid Stone is coming out too, for those who want to check that out.
Oh yeah, I
from the
heard
new
about that this morning.
collection of Grimrock. Yeah, it looks kind of like DOS 2y.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. So
Yeah.
that'll be cool. We'll be checking that out at some point on the
There's
channel.
PoE League announcement next week as well. By the way, Path of Exile Co. launches on the 7th of June. E3 starts the 8th of June.
Shit.
Yeah. So, I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. My guess when we're not covering the conferences, I'm going to be
Yeah,
playing
dude.
Path of
The next
Exile.
league is the first time I'm taking the same build in. Like, I love the build that I used last league. I just didn't have any time to finish it. So, like, I actually want to try to go for it this time. But
Yeah.
oh man,
I'm not going to be.
oh, Judgment is next month too.
I don't know what that is
Oh,
either.
cool.
Maybe we'll talk about these games next week because I don't know any of this shit. I'm curious to know. So
Judgment's the new Yakuza thing with Matt as the voice.
Oh, right. Okay, sure.
I gotta play a little bit of it. Just to let you know.
Oh, ooh, okay.
Let's talk next week.
Yeah, we'll chat about it next week. That's it for us this week, though. We will see you guys for more drop frames next time. We're out.